and claim a spot in these playoffs. It's NAVI taking on the Falcons. We've got a banger veto in this series. We're expecting some wildness here. Sparks will fly. This is NAVI with a strong performance and a bit and wonderful heading in to this position. The side of the Falcons, we've been looking at the duo of NiKo and Monacy. And so a strong rifle presence, strong AWP presence, and a hell of a map to kick things off. It's Dust2 to get this going.
Cologne having to be here. Big game, big stakes, big names in the server today. And a lot of legacy on the line from an organization that has taken that very trophy, been in the Lanxess many times, versus a squad that has not under the Falcons banner. But is this where things change for Carrigan and co? Falcons out middle in this pistol, but Bit pushes up a B. That might scramble the plan. NiKo has provided a backdoor fake on this mid to B as Falcons send the bomb back. NAVI aren't falling for this.
All right, NiKo feeling it right now on this USP, claims a second, and now they're going to change their mind. They're going into Bit. Is this the guy you want to tussle with, though? Been having a fantastic major, and Bit waiting with these dual Berettas. 2 kills to the good already. Job not done. Bit hiding out on the platform. They deal with him right away. It's NiKo and Monacy with all the kills in this pistol round. NiKo trying to come in on a big old backstab. Has to find the right timing for this, and no one even considering it. He's got one on a plate. Wonderful looking the wrong way. And Alexi, not long for this world, trapped in between the Falcons. NiKo backstab connects, and he starts this progression series in fighting form. That's a massive 4K for NiKo.
Looking like a fearless Falcons coming into this pistol. What a great display from NiKo. We've been seeing him individually step up massively here in Cologne so far. And a Carrigan classic round all over the place, back and forth, changing the plan multiple times were the Falcons in this pistol. So starting things off strong. No reason to get stressed yet for NAVI. This is bound to be a messy game where these rounds can really make an impact. Force Buy comes in the second. No scout for Wonderful, he's saving for later. But Monacy's already tagged Makazi on that cross towards B. Falcons slow yet steady in middle. Pressure put on this B stack. NAVI in no position to move, even if they realize this is a doubtful prospect. Falcons are regrouping for a very late long hit. Decision to not throw that smoke, but it does come down on Cat. There's no one there yet. Carrigan's still lurking, and NAVI can't really stop this ensemble from Falcons on long.
Utel on its way. Rotations starting to occur for NAVI, but it's these 2 players in and around the site that are going to have to stop this. Good pick up for Makazi. They spot Wonderful, but can't deal with him right away. Kiyasuke will manage it, second time of asking. Player on that boost, brushed aside as well. And so a promising sign as Falcons able to brave this force out of NAVI.
Yeah, 4K from NiKo on pistol, 3K from Kiyasuke, saving that round in the second. It's a reassuring start from the stars of Falcons.
I know Carrigan's been getting a lot of attention for his struggles in these games, but for me, honestly, the worry, I guess, coming into this would have been Kiyasuke. He hasn't had a positive series yet in the games they've played out at this major. Been pretty quiet for this guy. You know, when you add Carrigan into this Falcons lineup, you're not really adding him to bring more firepower. I think that almost goes without saying.
Yeah, a superstar in a different department. That is surprising to consider when Kiyasuke's been very vocal about Carrigan coming into this team and the comfort that's provided for him and how he's felt better as a result. And you can see that definitely on the cams and in the media. but maybe some troubles adjusting. It's still early days here, but this was a shock move made mid-season in order to set Falcons up to be a contender. Felt like they weren't making that leap. They had so many chances, so much time to take a trophy. This is meant to be the blockbuster move that gets them there. And I think this series will tell us a lot for the Falcons. Because you consider some of the other squads have looked shaky. Spirit yesterday, it took them everything to beat NiKo. Vitality even fell to that South American squad. NAVI, of course, coming in with great form from previous events. And still questions to be answered by the Falcons.
For NAVI, it felt like they took such a sharp U-turn after that EPL, man. They go on to lift the trophy there, and then you see them start to appear in more and more finals, usually falling at the hands of Vitality. But that's a win they were able to claw back out in Atlanta. They go on to lift the trophy.
Yeah, that's growth right there. I mean, NAVI got eliminated by Vitality 3 events in a row, be it in just in playoffs or more likely in finals. So to actually overwhelm them eventually out in the US is quite the change, and it's at the perfect time for NAVI. Obviously, huge questions of whether any team can do that in a BO5, but knowing you could draw Vitality in a quarter, in a semi, and win that game, it's going to add a lot of opportunity to NAVI, shall we say, come a playoff berth. NAVI in an unlikely major run would not be the first time, but you got to get there into the Lanxess, and Falcons are having none of it at this point. 3-0 clean start. NAVI come in with guns. Terrifying to imagine that one of these two teams will go to a game tomorrow in that dreaded 2-2 pool.
It's wonderful hoping to get involved with this AWP early. Brings it out straight away, but Monesi's got his for the side of the Falcons. And so nothing offered to Wonderful. Falling back into a more passive A setup. There's a bit of room right now out here towards the short side. Falcons instead throwing in a little cluster of mid to B util. That's going to keep Ema down here towards CT. This means Wonderful going to get tested from the get-go on this AWP. Knew what he signed up for the moment he fell back and gave up this short position.
Smoke decreases the amount of shots he's going to get off in this round, so Wonderful looks to commit.
Alexi's got one flash for him on the long side. Missed shot on the first, and they close in quickly. All it takes is that one miss. Falcons are right there.
Might be it.
Out of position here, you lose another player. Kiyosuke dodging these shots out of Mikaze. Can't believe he survives that. And that's enough. 5v3, NAVI locked out. Their first rifle round just passes by in an instant.
Yeah, you can understand why Wonderful feels like he has to go in there, right? Seeing this smoke execute come down, if he pulls all the way back and goes back towards long side, he's still going to get flashed off that corner, and NAVI might never have a kill to beckon them in. Tries to commit, can't connect a single shot. And they just run at him in spawn side. Huge entry kill from Karrigan, who we do just see kind of jumping around corners, throwing his life on the line in a lot of these games, often to no result. But right there is a massive opener to put Falcons back on the board in this bye round. NAVI gotta wait a little bit longer. 3 guns. Hope a gamble goes their way. Two of those rifles at the long side, Bit keeping B insured. No one yet wanting to tackle m0NESY in middle. Nice way to put one of your guns forward. Alexi goes on that boost. The Falcons are playing a pretty tight game at the moment, not giving away any early kills. Constant threat of mid to B action, yet to see a player come through those doors and commit. The nades keep NAVI guessing.
Late Long sees them come in the way of Alexi's rifle. And up on this boost, potent position, Carrigan goes out first. Tesses assists him with the swing, and with nothing found from Alexi's M4, the task of holding this A bomb site now falls to Ema alone with a Deagle. Molly gonna burn him out into the open, would love to take one with him. Carrigan won't let that happen.
You're in trouble.
NAVI are trying to save. Makazi was hanging around, but decides it's a fight not worth taking. These first couple of rounds for NAVI just passing by. They've been passengers thus far on Dust2. This is Falcons map pick, and it's off to a flying start.
Yeah, very impressive game. This is NAVI, who are on a 4-loss streak on this map, and with some dominant losses at that. Remember, the opener to Spirit in this stage, falling 13-1. They got absolutely blitzed on Dust2. Got a single CT round in that map. And so Falcons study the tape, already bringing a nice tight game here on Dust. Love that Yanko called the veto, assuming that both these teams would be willing to float their perma, knowing that neither had the balls to pick it. Why take that risk? And so as a result, comfort maps banned out, Nuke and Inferno gone. But not looking like a messy game despite that.
Blade decides to get on the mic very, very early. He gave them one gun round to try and figure it out. Saw that wonderful orb try its hand at an opener from the very first time he bought it out. Curious if we get a bit more of it, because he didn't hang around for too long, and it ultimately gave the room to the Falcons they were hoping for out towards short. So yeah, gifted a long spawn, was wonderful, tries to pick it. Falcons go to the other side of the map. So for now, he's out of the action. It's m0NESY taking a line with his AWP.
Yeah, realizing he's not getting anything in middle. Wonderful's not willing to take that fight, so m0NESY looks for a pick, and NAVI still refused to give it away. You said they were passengers in this game, and so far yet to make a move on this CT side. Been very reactive, but not enough kills in their positions to actually contend for any of these rounds. Can NAVI make a difference now? Bit on a B bomb site, but on his own as Falcons group in the tunnels.
Reblock is annoying, to say the very least. Gonna try and couple it up with the lurk smoke to give yourself the room to go through here. Carrigan just making noise out towards middle, trying to draw attention away from the tunnels. NAVI worried about the backstab, but Bit is not even thinking about it. Eyes front, looks at the tunnels and chews through this Falcons hit. m0NESY baited out into the open, so Bit can feast.
And that's what NAVI have been waiting for. One of these rifles to rock your world and put you on the board. A chance to fight back. Falcons have been suppressing them with util all half, but now Bit gets the chance. Backside, dodges a flash, perfect lineup, and it just falls into his lap. Excellent route out of Bit. NAVI get on the board, and they do it flawless as well. Perfect way to start off this CT side to get back in this game despite a slow start. They didn't start wonderful B this time. That's over everyone else. Bit with spawn down long. Odyssey holds for middle. Kaze considering, but not overstepping yet. Wonderful, really wants that dry fight, but he's not going to get it. It's NAVI pushing up on the catwalk at the same time. IEM goes through the smoke. He passes him by. Shot in the back. Bomb dropped. Another man made it through. Carrigan responds. Odyssey moves in. Bit holds his position strong. 2 versus 4 for Falcons, but there's always a chance with Odyssey alive. Not for long. Carrigan in a 1v4. A world of hurt, and Alexi B makes it so. So NAVI keep him coming. Back to back and clean at that. Solid rifle round. Calls the pause for Zonic. Love to see NAVI still making the aggressive move, not shrinking back into very safe setups. They were dedicated 4 strong on A, so IEM coming through that smoke at a perfect time to rip the round away from Falcons.
Nice, Mirage. Come on.
Odyssey is a good spawn. They're hoping the orb can provide a solution. Nothing being offered. This has been the case in a bunch of these rounds. Forcing Falcons to make the first move. They do get deep on the catwalk. In. Falcons do want to try and make a play for this short control, but 3 bodies waiting on the other side. Carrigan does what he can, it softens up. Alexi in that clash. Still, you've hemorrhaged a lot of players here. Catch for Tesses, and now they set their sights on getting past this wonderful orb. Can't afford to miss. What if he's never given the chance to shoot? Tesses blindsides him out through long, and this is happening now. Falcons have room.
Running up a 2v4. Odyssey gets out of the danger zone. Molly lands, but too late. NAVI creep closer. Odyssey still needs to watch his ramp. Tessus can't really stop a wide swing. Bit coming in, but Odyssey takes another headshot here for the Falcons. It's only Bit. Element of surprise is all he has, and that disappears in an instant. He can't connect it. Odyssey and Tessus piece together a very difficult round in the 2v4. Banging shots out of Tessus, catching wonderful, lackadaisical. And Falcons break in like that. Timeouts being hemorrhaged here at the start of Dust2 in this first half. Already 3 down. Mistakes made. NAVI lose from a massive advantage.
I think it's fair to say there's going to be a good chunk of frustration at the end of this one for NAVI. They had the right idea. They had the stack in the right place. They win all those initial fights out towards short, and it still just gets away from you. Wonderful slumped over at the end of that round. Knows he gave it away.
Double orb.
Again, wonderful looking for this short fight. Oh my God!
Sick.
Oh man, what an insane sequence. KyoSuke and NiKo side by side, charging up the catwalk. NAVI never had a chance.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal out of Falcons. The firepower. And it wins a round in a second. One jiggle on Wonderful. That's all it took. And KyoSuke takes his head off. Him and NiKo side by side confirm this round, and NAVI are just trying to survive. It won't be easy. Gonna have to fight for these guns. Karrigan, inspired by his team, with a clean kill, and Bit back to spawn, but he'll meet them there. Falcons looking ferocious. A dangerous sign on a map like Dust2.
Just more and more good stuff for KyoSuke. I think that's such a huge boost to the confidence of the Falcons. NiKo and m0NESY have been the duo for this squad. This guy's been a little quiet, especially by the standards he set for himself. And so the idea he could give you his best series of the Major yet is a very enticing prospect.
In a head-to-head. The NAVI won last time. Even on this very map. The new-looking Falcons. With some recent success. All in all, Astana went very well.
Plus, I think it's one of those things, you know, like with the timing of the change. I know usually when you kind of swap out an IGL, you think you want to give a team some time. When you make the change on the timing the Falcons did, you don't really have that to fall back on. You know, you did this with the goal of making an impression at this Major. And that's how you have to interpret it. Wonderful. Finally gets to fire a shot off on this AWP, and it will connect. Buys himself a bit more time with that smoke as well. Tessa's going to try and close in to deal with him, but he's got riflers in the sight, meant to provide cover.
Ooh, Tessa's cheeky.
They didn't see this. No one saw this. That's a free kill. Why not make it the double? NAVI not out of the woods yet, in spite of all these openings, because Tessa's is ripping heads off. And everyone's taking turns right now, having their time in the limelight for the Falcons. Job's not done, but they're going to start to pinch a bit here. Don't get me wrong, he's been fantastic, but everyone's got limits. He's got two players either side of him. And here's that trade from NiKo out through short. Tessez with a monstrous 4K. And a T-half that is swollen out of control in this series. 8-2 lead, chance to sweeten the deal now.
Yeah. I mean, these rounds are coming down to seconds here for Falcons. That's how fast these entries are coming in, even though NAVI keep getting advantages. That was a 5v3 from NAVI off the rip. Wonderful hitting a shot, but that smoke down, put on top of the Molotov, is perfectly abused by Tessez. It's something NAVI don't even consider. A bit of chaos breaks the calculation. Wonderful timing
for Wonderful.
Fought off completely. KyoSuke steps. He doesn't chase that kill down. If he did, maybe a 5v4 again for Falcons, but Wonderful given a chance to survive.
Liking this reaction right now from NAVI. Bit and mikaze are getting a little tired of being left out of these rounds over towards B. And so aggression in the mid-round, and Tessez is holding for it. Ema reclaims one. And so NAVI at least stem the bleeding, keep this even.
They just want to jump, though. They've taken one of the two B players out. They know the AWP was A. This is a perfect chance to just storm on that B bomb site. Ema feeling like he has to come through. There is no flash to do so. He is waiting. Waiting for any bit of info that Falcons give him. Oh, tense round here. And as he reloads, NiKo takes that space. Is the bomb really going to go A?
They walk in the CT smoke. They're splitting on this.
Oh.
Carrigan deals with Wonderful, and now Ima's pincered. Monacy coming through for the backstab. Orp might not be the gun for the job, but up close, no problem for Monacy.
See, I can't even blame NAVI for falling for this one. Monacy's going to hunt them down. It's the last thing you would expect. It is the last thing Falcons should do, commit into that A bomb site. They know this stack is on A. They know that there's a solo B player. NAVI know that Falcons know. That's why they're hedging their bets so hard that Falcons will not walk out cat. It's not just Ima back in spawn. It's another player coming to join him, and Falcons just pounce out catwalk dry. They know NAVI are going to play the numbers, and they use them against them. Unorthodox here on this T side and explosive. This is a dominant half and it is disappearing quickly.
Makazi, little wide on that AWP. Monacy with the spot, tried to make it fancy, ends up getting shot in the face. Big reclaiming this advantage, and now the full scramble out towards B. Again, you're left looking at Tesses. Asking what more can he deliver. 11 and 4 has a lot of space out towards long.
And that missed molly from NiKo, that's really thrown this round through a loop. They would have had the B site locked down with Carrigan with more util, but instead they have to mid-round. Tesses has won some ridiculous moments already in this game of Dust2.
Two players holding him on the cross. This is not a comfortable nor easy fight for Tesses, and they just tap him down from afar. NAVI and their hunt for scraps at the end of this half might offer up one more round, but it really is not a lot to hold on to here for NAVI. It's still Falcons' dominance where all is said and done, and it's not NiKo, it's not Monacy, it's not that duo we're looking at right now. Tesses sitting top in the charts for the Falcons on a dominant T side. most overlooked player in the Falcons, is right now soaking up the spotlight. Tessez casting one hell of a shadow over NAVI in what has been a dominant run for the Falcons on their map pick. It's not really a weak link right now for the Falcons. Everyone's had their moments, everyone's had their rounds. NAVI getting outgunned and outmaneuvered. Been a frustrating game here for the NAVI squad.
Yeah, we've had 2v4s, we've had 3v5s, we've had 4v5s out of Falcons. They've won every disadvantage they've needed to. And all while NAVI just keep getting caught off guard. And NAVI tried to play tight in that CT side, but they just get snapped. Falcons look for a pistol that might just seal the deal. We've seen so many comebacks in this major so far from this score, and so you can never count it out. But Falcons looking to secure this simply, get a 5v4 and get out.
So you're going to be in position in CT with these dual Berettas. Flash out at Tessez. Decides not to pounce on the back of it. Oh! On the spam. Kiyasuke now getting split on there on both sides of him, and those dualies can't find a kill. There's been big damage dealt the way of NAVI. And so even in this 3-on-3, you're not comfortable. Wonderful, the only guy with health, roams down in middle. And it looks like Hema wants to come and join him. He's playing for a very late backstab. Knows he can't give away this kill. Otherwise, it's low health for the remaining two. Falcons come hunting, and they will remove him after that one. It's Karrigan and m0NESY attempting this 2v2. Hema is a shot away from certain death. m0NESY beelines right for him. And so pistol round picked up. Falcons won Dust2 over and done with.
This is Falcons embodying flow state right now. They are just running at NAVI. They are feeling perfect. Everything is lining up. Great Julie shots from m0NESY through the smoke up into the doorway. And Falcons clear out the one man who felt like he could have won that round in Wonderful. Having the health, having the late backstab. Falcons do not let it find them. Excellent pistol round. NAVI with a force are certainly going to buy up. Team player. Karrigan's held his own in this game. He's also called a great T-side. Must be noted here with some of the disappearances of Karrigan when it comes to his individual performance, especially in these second halves. But it doesn't feel like there's going to be much of a second half left here on this map as NAVI get eviscerated in lower. A 3v5 ensues. NiKo headers the smoke.
I think zooming out, thinking big picture for NAVI too, right? Talking about Atlanta, talking about their victory over Vitality there, the idea that they lifted this trophy. The fact that you've had your Dust2 get a little bit exposed in these games at the Major and on the run-up to it, I think is a worrying sign. All right, Wonderful. It's a clean shot. Let's see if he's got any more.
Yeah, Karrigan doesn't need to take this fight. There's a bit of fear that they've crossed already, but Kiyasuke doing a little flank. Will it be like Max? Yes, indeed. Alexi holds on. Patience pays off here for NAVI. They still have a lurker in lower, but are you really going to start rotating at 30 seconds?
It was a 5v3, but here's the rotate.
This is crazy from Falcons. This is maybe a bit too much. They are very scared of this second smoke. NAVI have one more. It can go down in middle. Bit might just use the element of surprise with his position. He's called the B's clear.
Catching Tessez on the fallback. And now the alarm bells are ringing for the Falcons. 5v3. They've done more than enough in this round on the back of that lower push.
Oh, no.
Now they just might give it all away. They charge the bomb planter. Karrigan bails them out with that opening. Will he be able to respond? No! Can't long it out versus m0NESY. Heimlich. Falcons were throwing that away.
They look like they have no respect left for NAVI. They full rotate out of the bomb site with absolutely no reason to. They get caught in mid with nades out. Falcons just run at NAVI. No respect, no hesitation, and no cover on that bomb plant. Missed chances from the scout will cost you, NAVI. That was your opportunity. A 3v5 pulled back into a favorable post plant. m0NESY and Karrigan run you down.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Can't play scared here. And Falcons are not.
I mean, all the usual pitfalls in a Falcons game haven't come through. They've dodged it every single time. You thought that 3v5 was happening, only to snatch it back. Conservative start to this round, no crazy aggression from the Falcons. They're leaving it to NAVI to make this first move.
Yeah, you wanted to talk about NAVI last round. Well, you might not have time. This is not their map. This is not their story right now. This is Falcons looking to just slam them out of the running in Dust2. Save it for Mirage, because it could be coming up right after this rifle round. Falcons looking to clash again. 4 players here.
Smoke fades. Carrigan facing first, but he's got all these rifles ready to back him up. Wonderful. Finished off with ease. And the 3 stars of the Falcons all chime in with a kill.
Oops.
A shot from the Monacy orb, sure, but he's given a chance to get out and now just go play around this bomb out on long.
Needed that kill. You will find it eventually. Maybe we're on with something here. Burst shots connecting headshots. And 2 low players for Makazi. He knows he has a player trapped at long. NiKo locks in. 2 Galils, 1 shot, all required to win this round, and NiKo looks to put it together. Makazi position revealed, but NiKo's got the kill, and Falcons have got map point. A desperate surge here for NAVI to survive in Dust2. Bearing no fruit. Falcons just throwing themselves round the corner, 4 players long side. NAVI just can't get a read on this game.
Oh, second nade to break that open. If Monacy had hung around, that would have been an opening. Instead, it's short control taken very, very quickly for NAVI. Maybe going to look to give the Falcons a taste of their own medicine. They threw in a bunch of these fast A plays in reg. In that T side. Monacy gets here in time. Orb delivers. Oh, and there's a second. Monacy now, the highlight reels are rolling. Can he finish it? 4th kill eludes him, but he's done more than enough as the Falcons close in for a dominant victory. They want to try and seal the deal on a playoff berth by the end of the day, and that is the game to get things going. 13-3, super one-sided, a masterclass on Dust2.
Yeah, this is NAVI, a name synonymous with the Lanxess. We've seen them in it 8 times over the years, 10 playoff runs at Cologne. Falcons jersey and Falcons a map away from the Lanxess. Was it all part of Blade's master plan? I'm not so sure after that Dust2. We're going to have to wait and see. Mirage is up next. It's NAVI's pick. It's their time for redemption. And it's Falcons coming off the back of an absolute stomp.
Yeah, even though the numbers on Mirage have been kind of hit or miss for this version of the Falcons, it's the fashion that they went on to close Dust2 that's giving you some concern. NAVI looking a little disjointed, have to refocus in between these maps and have to hit hard from the word go. Looking at this A play, Falcons have gone to clear top middle, so they will have fast rotates available here. Monacy would love to thin the herd, but he's dead right away. Makazi leads with an entry.
It's explosive, and once that nade hits the smoke, NiKo takes Makazi with him. NAVI going to get that sight, they get the spawn. This is a lot of control. Can Falcons take it back? Tessa's high flash, and Falcons are coming in.
2 players here, flash wrecks them both! It's a double kill lined up right there on a platter. Now just got to pick apart the rest. Bit tapped out, Falcons recover in the pistol.
It just feels like a different energy today from the Falcons, doesn't it, right? They are all smiles, they are flowing, and everybody hitting hard. It's a big pistol round picked up by the Falcons at the Dawn of Mirage. NAVI get the plant they forced last time. This is NAVI. Maybe a little bit shaky today. Could not close from any advantage back on Dust. Will Mirage be different?
I see what you're saying there, though, right? Falcons do have this kind of swagger about them right now. Playing as though, you know, NAVI are massive underdogs or something in this head-to-head. Got to force buy back into this for NAVI. Hero guns for Alexi and Makazi and an attempt to get out into middle. You're working with a lot less in this buy round though. One smoke left. One of the two guns already softened up. You get given this mid control by the Falcons for now. So NAVI have the space they were looking for. Just begs the question, what do they want to do with it? They really have the util to launch an offensive out from middle. So yeah, they go looking for that space right off the top, wanting a gunfight, wanting a head-to-head. Falcons now move in and re-clear this right as NAVI have left. Again, perfect timing on this info. But it's led to a bit of a misread. NiKo aggressing down through lower. Reinforcements arriving at B. One player over at the A side of the map. Honestly, just going to arrive in time to help out. But this A hit's coming. NAVI lob in their volley of util to try and get the ball rolling on this hit.
It's fine for Falcons to give away the plant. It's where NAVI are going to struggle winning this round in a post-spawn. They got no nades. They are just getting siphoned through the spawn one by one as Falcons fly in and eviscerate them from this force buy round. NAVI don't get a kill behind them. They only get the plant. Nowhere to go. Falcons shutting it down and NAVI in the mud. 3K a player. Got a half buy, got to offer over some respect. Falcons are earning it right now. Perfect info play, even though Falcons read it wrong. They clear out the other side of the map, and look how quick they're all together in spawn. NAVI had just no way to escape that bomb site. There were still questions for me here on Mirage. Not just the fact that NAVI have had a bit of a streak of it, albeit against weaker opposition, but more so Falcons' record on this map since Karrigan joining. They had some real trouble back at Astana into CAC. Not helped by some of Karrigan's weaker performances, but that was not what we got on Dust2. Positive rated map, a lot of impact, and a well-cooled T-side. Started this map strong as well. So have things changed here for the Falcons? RV with a smoke and a flash. A hope and a dream on this B bomb site. Kiyasuke starting to claw back to B. They've got full mid info. Monacy's peeking top mid at this point, so Falcons know what's up. Well-timed block smoke. NAVI will be coming through.
Smoke goes in first. Karrigan going to open. And just a mow down from the captain. They try and abuse his bomb site. He shows them the door. Karrigan's not delusional. He knows he is kind of the weakest link here. He's used to squads trying to home in on his half of the map. I do expect, you know, that won't be the last attempt to get past Karrigan at B we see for NAVI in this game. That's already a promising sign there. Sure, it's only up against the Pistols, but there was some money put into that round. It was a whole group of players flocking through the apartments, and it's going to give NAVI a bit of pause before they next go for that B hit, looking for this mid control.
Falcons get unlucky. That nade doesn't break the top mid smoke. They would have multiple players on their screen. It is a brawl, a bash from Bit. He does in a double. That could have gone a lot worse for NAVI, so to sit in a man advantage is not a bad position. Bomb retrieve, NAVI get grouped. Falcons are here.
Karrigan getting into position, spawn side, but they're already out ramp. This isn't info he has. Still going to strike on a good timing. Karrigan, big damage. Now hands off to Kiyasuke. 1v2 and a CT re-wrap. Going to get here very, very quickly, running the whole way. IEM hears this, and he's going to delay this bomb plant. Forces you to go for something a little safer. Gives him that 1v1. Alexi had to chase for the trade. So NAVI's captain keeps that round in check.
I do still like the way that Kiyosuke plays it, just charging them down. It's just so much confidence here on this start of the game for Falcons. Doesn't look like much of a reset from that second map. They just keep it coming. It was, I do think that round just comes down to the top mid smoke not getting naded open. I think if it gets broken properly, Falcons find multiple kills at the start of the round in middle. A very fine margin here for NAVI. Full blind on that flash. It goes a little bit wrong, but m0NESY still survives. Remolly, and Alexi is burning alive. He has to smoke it. He knows they're coming out connector. Falcons putting a lot of threat on middle. Alexi almost dies to utility. But you're going to need more to take down the Grenadier of NAVI. IEM in his classic position. As NAVI vie for this A site. Bit spotted. NAVI heard.
Yeah, the longer you can keep Bit out of the equation, the better. Kept up his strong major performance, was the only guy for NAVI on Dust2 hitting. Now he's got the squad with him though. And with entries out of Wonderful and Mikaze, this is looking to be a quick round. Carrigan won on the backstab, but I don't imagine this amounts to anything here. m0NESY's already saving low on HP from that earlier skirmish.
I love what NAVI do there. They know that IEM is such a threat that Falcons are looking over their shoulder. IEM was under earlier. He threw a con molly. He made a lot of noise. It made it pretty obvious, hey, this is an A attack. I'm coming in from the mid split. And then when NAVI get out A, they don't swing jungle. They don't even put a smoke down. Falcons are holding for the cross. Nothing comes. They start looking back mid. They look connector. They check window. That's when NAVI swing. IEM was never there. They know their lurker has put so much paranoia for Falcons that they can't feel safe in their positions. NAVI catch great timings on those swings. It's a big round here from NAVI. It's going to keep them above water on this T side.
Without a doubt, for the Falcons, kind of the worrying part of their Mirages has been the T sides. So you don't want NAVI to feel too comfortable in this first half. Well, these CT rounds are worth a hell of a lot to the Falcons. Have a double AWP purchased up. Kiyosuke gonna don one alongside m0NESY. Still no AWP for NAVI. Wonderful holding off before that gets bought out. Bit of aggression out towards this B site. This is where this double AWP could come as a real surprise.
Yeah, you want to punish Carrigan. Well, this is not the man you were expecting, not the weapon either. Oh, Jiggle forces that shot. It's huge info here for NAVI. It might adjust their plan entirely. You hear them run back, but NAVI aren't so sure. Double nade on IEM. NiKo jump shotting, really just trying to flush out this lurk.
So this is a mid to be taking shape. 3 players in the apartments. Kiyosuke gonna have another shot on this AWP, but that smoke blocks him off the angle. He's repositioning and Carrigan's getting split on. What a turn to find Mikaze. And the short players dealt with by NiKo, just all across the board. Falcons have each other's backs. Finally Wonderful with a breakthrough kill, but he's left in a very unlikely round. We'll get the bomb down. It's just, where do you go from here? Don't know how close the Falcons are. Don't know numbers. There's a lot of uncertainties for Wonderful to try and work with. Edging his way forward, gets the spot on Tesses. It's backing up into the open, into 2 guys out through short. That's the nasty surprise. So B site holds its own with a bit of help from NiKo.
Yeah, surprised to not see Wonderful take that up in the post plant. Felt like a perfect opportunity for a player who's had a fantastic 2026. Took his first MVP back in Atlanta and has led NAVI to renewed form and to multiple trophies this season. Wonderful has his orb now. Kiyosuke puts his down. And Karrigan, again, for the second time, starts alone on this B-bomb site, entirely evading as Falcons look to fight middle. Oh, NiKo gets a taste of his own medicine. Finally, the nades connect to him. And we even saw, just with that over-the-shoulder shot, NiKo checking out his utility damage on the scoreboard. That's because Falcons have put a lot of these HEs down under to punish EMA, and they know they're working. This is a dangerous peak. NiKo won't commit. They let NAVI make the next play.
Already looking like this might be another go at trying to abuse this B side, but you've got a lot of bodies out towards middle. Bomb alone in the apartments with Bit. He's just worked his way into this corner and con on it. Good timing, Wonderful there to bail them out at least. Wonder if that kill changes things, because you've still got Makazi going short, still have the bomb back at apartments with Bit. And this B site hold has dissolved to just Karrigan. Two players ready to come around the corner. He's asking for rotates, but they're so far away. He is on his own here, and big damage won't cut it. Needed a kill, really. Oh, Wonderful. Oh, that's a punishing miss. Tessa is going to mop him up.
We're back on.
A game of foot here. Flash to send Kiyosuke in. Nades brutal. Softens up Alexi. Now they've just got to clear him. Does Makazi try and help? Swinging on out. Bit of help there. And so Navi's game plan of abusing B, this time able to misdirect the Falcons, get them rotating away. Everything works out.
Yeah, just saw Karrigan kind of shrug it off there. He knows he was fighting the urge to push up on short and take that engagement. He changes his mind, but he doesn't get back around the corner in time. They trap him in that position. And only damage, it's not enough. NAVI are able to convert. This solo B presence finally getting punished. Because it's one thing to have your weaker player on the B side, but when you leave him alone as well, it's going to get even harder. Despite that, Karrigan's 8-3 right now. But this round, nothing done, and NAVI do convert that 5v3 that was getting out of hand. They're taking a spawn on ramp. Monacy getting mental. And with that, NiKo walks alongside out under. EMA not flashing this, could go very, very pear-shaped. NiKo's initiating. EMA looking to wait it out. Monacy, will he get dragged into this orb? Yes, he will.
It's exactly the reaction they were hoping for. Just bait that peek out of EMA.
Yeah.
Give him a fight that's so tantalizing he can't resist. Monacy answers back with an equalizer, but they're out on A. Monacy gets there just in time. Real quick on this orb. And this is a big problem now. This is Monacy with hot hands, feeling good. Knows he could be the difference maker. Monacy is on for the ace. It's his AWPing counterpart left in this, and Monacy's departed, going back to B. Leaves Wonderful a 1v1 for the site control. A low HP Kiyosuke hides back in the spawn. But he needs this element of surprise. The only way Wonderful finds Kiyosuke here is if he goes for the check, if he goes for the clear. If you assume you've got room, you're dead to spawn. And so Wonderful, one chance to make this happen, walks right into the crosshair. What a round from that Monacy AWP.
Yeah, just a thing of beauty to watch. It's the hot hands, it's the flow state, it's everything we saw back on Dust 2 for Falcons, where it feels like nothing can go wrong. Good setup to start the round. NiKo doesn't overcommit, plays smart, lets m0NESY excel. And he goes on to trap every single player. Feels like they're already dead before they peek him. Nice Ilya indeed. Broken money now for NAVI.
NAVI keep getting Falcons in this vulnerable position where they could reset them, but they're struggling to capitalize. All these breakthrough rounds that would have turned the tide, offered up a streak, just haven't come through. And they're not really in a position where they can chase their losses. It's late in the half, so you're just prioritizing as many gun rounds as you can. You've lost that initiative, you've lost that ability to break the Falcons' money. If they get a clean round here, they're pretty much short up till the end of the game, or the end of the half. And a very active CT side down to swing and fight around this mid control. In rounds where they don't, they'll pressure the extremities, taking away ramp space. Right now, it's just a farm session for Kyosuke out towards mid. No problems versus the Pistols, and a clean round called forth by the Falcons. 5 alive when all is said and done. So there's that money built up. Here's the challenge for NAVI. Blake gonna punctuate this with a timeout. As he noticed something they could exploit that maybe the rest of NAVI have been slow to jump on. Been very active fights out towards middle. Falcons have been willing to meet them there head on. And it's clear they've game planned a little around trying to abuse IEM in this lower tunnels position.
Yeah, 1 and 9. Nightmare starts.
He's been getting nade stacked. He was the guy who had m0NESY and NiKo double push into those lower tunnels. And it makes a lot of sense because with IEM out of the picture, you're losing someone who can force these gunfights, who can misdirect the Falcons. The last round that NAVI got on the board, they got that A pick, right? They had that kill out through the connector. It scrambled the rotates away from B, and it created gaps in the defense. Without these kills on the mid lurk, it starts to get really hard to push and pull Falcons around the map.
All right, can Wonderful be the difference maker? He is audaciously out middle behind the tap. Fast with the flash. Waiting for Falcons to re-clear middle, but nothing of the sort in this round. And this has been after multiple rounds where Falcons dedicate a lot of control in the middle of the map. This time, it's m0NESY AWPing B. It's Kyosuke hiding out in plain sight. And it's Falcons just waiting for IEM lurk. Nothing coming in. NAVI are regrouping for this execute. IEM part of the pack for once. Realizing that things aren't going his way in middle. And they might get worse because Falcons have already read this setup.
Oh, great timing catch on Tesses. Kyosuke, though, able to control the spray. Stops that spillover. One back for IEM. Tag down range off the Wonderful AWP. NAVI have been able to break through. That double kill doesn't matter as they still get their entries. And so down to a retake now. Carrigan stuck on IEM. And he will close on that all-important kill. Stops the first man in. And with it, gives Falcons something to consider. NiKo's wounded. They made some money with the 5 alive round, but it's not invincible, and they might just feel the pressure to save here. It's a reluctant save out of the Falcons. You saw them down to give that 3v3 a go.
Yeah, m0NESY's not feeling like the AWP is a limiting factor in this post plant, but the man advantage certainly is. Big kill from IEM over Stairwell. And Falcons can't find a way back in, so NAVI do get a 4th round on this T side. Slowly but surely chipping away at this first half.
Terrorists win.
It's huge entries from IEM. Kyosuke was looking like he had a hell of a multi-kill lined up there on balcony as they come through that smoke. But NAVI, who broke the timing, jumping on this default player as the smoke blooms in Palace, so... It's close, but NAVI still need another round in this half.
Team faking a mid take while the rest of NAVI look to go quickly into an A play. Molly forces Tesses to commit to a real awkward fight. Double entry for Mikaze. And he just guns it all the way spawn side with him already in at CT. This is a very rough round for the Falcons. 3v5, out of position, no control. Post plant's already taken for the NAVI squad, and this game's going to tighten up.
Yeah, even though, again, Falcons make the read, right? They've got the setup to start the round. 2 players balcony, high-low, but NAVI just completely catch them off guard by going for an instant execute. Perfect molly from onto Tesses. And NAVI barely a scratch, saving themselves right down the tail end of their T side, looking for an even half. Certainly not bad on Mirage. And this begs a question from Falcons, because they've had back-to-back correct reads, correct stacks, and both times have just been locked out of this A-bomb site. What do you do now?
Terrorists win.
NAVI showing up, not willing to go out quietly in this series. Felt like there was a chance they could have got blown out, no more.
I think something that's been nice about this too is, you know, for the Falcons, to give them some credit on this CT side, the thing they were doing well was like re-aggressing in the mid round, you know, not necessarily like swooping in and looking for all these early fights, but it was kind of as there's a minute left, they go, they re-clear mid, and then they have something to react to. And with these pace changes out of NAVI, you've almost removed that, right? It forces you to just be right in your read from the top of the round with the pace that you've been getting out of them. There's not been this kind of second timing for Falcons to play on, to go and gather information, to go and run some type of double play in the mid round.
Will NAVI keep that up?
Wonder what the adjustment's going to be on the back of that pause.
Heavy mid smokes. Falcons dodging the nade stack again. Second time's a charm, but NAVI come charging up short with an entry. Carrigan alone. This abuse on this B-bomb site might be inevitable as NAVI crack it open.
Again, just playing with pace. Playing on that very first timing. Alexi cutting down the rotates. And now clutching at straws in a 2v4. Tesses makes it out, goes right into that wonderful orb. Monacy might have had a sick 4K earlier. Surely doesn't have this one in him. First shot lands market side. But now they've got him boxed in and he's working, fighting against this clock. Every second that passes, it gets more and more unlikely. Monacy, crazy second. But trade right away for NAVI. They piece together how to beat the Falcons, tying us up at 6-all on the half.
once again, first base is a Dren. He's going to hit the ground there. Oh, what a jumping double for Cole! What is going on right now? How does he do this? Cole is save luminosity with the all-play.
With major playoffs on the line, NAVI refused to roll over and die here in this qualification series. Last 3 rounds of the T side keep NAVI in contention up against the Falcons, and on their map pick, they look for their first pistol to get back in this game.
Yeah, had the realization very late in the day at round 10 how they could break the Falcons' defense, and it's given them enough to make something of Mirage after all. And Wonderful, not want to miss this opportunity, nails that opening. He's got support from Bit. And so this crossfire looking to be brutal, tearing through the Falcons. Bit up and over, just remaining dynamic. They'll finally deal with him. But it's just a flood of NAVI players in the face of the Falcons.
And NiKo was trying to put together his own ace there. He was 3 kills deep with a P250, but too many targets as NAVI flood the site. Banging shots from Bit on the Julies. And that is their first pistol in this best of 3. Couldn't have come at a better time. Will the second half of this series belong to NAVI? Very much a chance.
And this is also where Falcons have had a lot of their struggles.
All smiles here, though. Cracking jokes on the ramp. But yeah, you're right. T-sides have been full of troubles.
Hear those pistols shooting and look at the minimap. All of NAVI want these ecos. And so no bomb plant, nothing to be found here. Just NiKo and his Deeg, and not for long. Right, building a bit of a lead now, are NAVI. And after Wonderful really struggling back on Dust2, returning to the form he's held at this major. Right in there behind Bit on the scoreboard. I think there's a lot to feel happy about right now for NAVI. This is 5 in a row. Rifles finally back out for the Falcons. Attempt to go about that lower tunnel's control, and Makazi didn't like it. Spam connecting. Still NAVI fighting for this mid control. Eventually just going to slink back. Get a little bit nervous with it being so quiet. And they've used really all their defensive util here. It's Falcons looking curiously out towards B. That might be making you nervous because Alexi's on this side of the map all alone. No util to slow this down. Nothing to take the pace out of the round. It's just him with an SMG. Makazi rotating over. Will be close by in the market, but if Alexi dies with nothing done, this might have to be a save. So you need something from the captain. There's the first. That's going to bring Makazi into the conversation as well. He barrels out through the market, trying to put up a stand because his teammates are a long way away. Kiyosuke quick to deal with him. On plant now and a decision to make. He got 3 players primed and ready to go for this retake. You're going to look for an incision. All grouping up, market side. They swing on out, and as Kiyosuke went looking for that trade, he realizes the cover is there. Ooh. Him and Monesi trade the contact, leaves it to Bit, and he gets pincered, sandwiched from both sides. That was not an easy 2-on-3, but they handle it really nice. Kyosuke and m0NESY playing off of each other well to see that round through for the Falcons.
And you feel the swing of Mikaze mattering even more now because that molly actually didn't spread. There was room back behind the site. He could have lasted a few more seconds and waited for his team, but he felt the pressure to swing. He felt like that molly was a guarantee. It was not. And so m0NESY and Kyosuke clutch out a round on that B-bomb site. With T-side rounds, the Falcons really need. And in the 7 games that Falcons have played on Mirage since karrigan joined, they've only managed a 7-round half once on this T side. That was their first game against 9Z. Since that point, it has been 6 or less. And so Falcons need to give us their best game yet. Against the best team they've faced, with everything on the line. Good entry.
One guy already is. This is on track to be Kyosuke's best game at the Major thus far. 18-7. Top of the board for the Falcons.
Sneaky, sneaky.
What are they up to? Because that bomb's back over towards B. Waiting with m0NESY and Tesses. NiKo throwing util out from Palace, but with Bit cleaning up the con side, that flash arriving way too late. And Mikaze head on a swivel, keeps B under control. m0NESY's low on health. Does he have this clutch in him? NAVI are closing in, and they're closing in quick. Bit's gonna arrive before that bomb even goes down. Kill instantly mopped up by Bit. And no worries about that m0NESY clutch.
Saving grace here from Bit and Connector. Double kill as they come up. That was Falcons on the fake as well. They don't even get around the corner. Ugly despite a very important entry. Bit makes it look easy and finds that third off the catch-up. Falcons cannot celebrate too soon. These T-side troubles might come right back to haunt them. That round would have broken Navi's money. It would have put Falcons in the lead. Instead, we're talking about pistols and double digits for NAVI on their map pick, and Blade punctuates this round with a timeout. Trying to keep NAVI cool because they know they have Falcons right where they want them. Still some quiet players for NAVI, but still time to wake up. Falcons have a couple of deagles. Bit doing a lot in this CT side, winning the 2 most important rounds in that 3K buy and the pistol with the Julies. It's back in spawn on this one. Bomb is Palace. karrigan is searching. Wonderful breaks the silence, and 1 by 1, NAVI get into this round.
No issues up against the pistols. That's always just reassuring, isn't it? Considering they were up for getting broken in that last rifle round, now you get to put a bit of a cushion on this lead. And NAVI know this map is kind of won in this next round if they're able to take it when the guns come back out for the Falcons. You got them right where you want them, as you say. Just get through this one, make it concise, make it clean. Finish with 5 alive. And already you feel like you're onto a winner. Kyosuke getting sandwiched here with love, a chance to strike with this deagle. But they've not made it a fair fight. 2 players latched onto this position. Deag delivers 1. Loses the bomb short side. Kiyasuke does need to die, so can't be too successful here. Nails a second headshot. Starts to close in on Wonderful. Waiting back in the market, he'll collect a freebie. Still, that's great damage in at the close. That's a 2v5 with 3 kills. Found before time expires for the Falcons.
It still feels like it's going to be a very difficult game for the Falcons to win it out on Mirage now on this T side. NAVI just 3 rounds away from taking us the distance to Anubis in this series, and Wonderful is warming up. 4-0 on the opening duels, Bit holding very strong in a couple of rounds, and Falcons have been very reliant on Kiyasuke and m0NESY. So let's see what this first buy, or second buy for Falcons in the half, has in store. Got broken very early in this half. They've got to make this one work. Bit finds Kiyasuke in middle. They try and set him up. He goes down. Wonderful, holding strong. There's a trade, but this is a 2v5 we're talking about. NAVI are not here to throw this away.
m0NESY's got all the attention. NAVI are moving in to get rid of him. If he falls, Carrigan ain't winning this round. They're just going to ice him out while he's alone. Double swung, nowhere left to hide for m0NESY. Kiyasuke sent to his doom into a triple mid-stack. Round just becomes unraveled. No entries won for the Falcons. A convincing case from NAVI. A welcome return to form.
Yeah, showing some great resilience in this series. They got blown out of Dust2. They were 6-3 down, and m0NESY was putting on highlights in that first half. Felt like Falcons were just going to swim into the Lanxess. But NAVI, with great mental, are now taking a convincing victory here on their map. Not letting it be any more bumps on this journey. Falcons just have pistols looking to pop on this B site. NiKo looking for Deagle in middle. But nothing getting offered up. And so Falcons give time to NiKo, searching in middle. Oh, Wonderful, missed that. A brief window, perhaps, for NiKo. Bit, oh, he just stumbles into this angle. NiKo's holding on. Bottom con smoke, and Bit doesn't know NiKo already got here. There is an opportunity, but Bit just swings in, denies it. Good check. And with that, hope will die, as all Falcons have are 2 flashes.
Kazi with the cover, lights up the apartments. And with it all ablaze, m0NESY throwing into another unwinnable clutch. Has that 1 kill short, but NAVI beeline for him as they make a break for a close on Mirage. It's been left down to this. Zonic calling in his timeout. But he knows just how tall of a task this is. This second half has belonged almost entirely to NAVI. Just 1 round since moving to the T side for the Falcons. They're not winning the opening fights. They're not clawing back clutches. This is a very different game to how this started back on Dust2.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting shades of last year's Cologne for the Falcons. Remember when Kiyasuke came through with an incredible Dust2 against Furia in that elimination game? Was the only guy performing. Everyone else went absolutely cold. Falcons fell short of playoffs there. Now, sure, there is still room to lose this series, but that is not the goal for the Falcons. However, it might have to be decided on Anubis. Sonic's timeout over. Falcons' time to shine. And NAVI with wind in their sails, 4 straight rounds on this CT side. This is good timing. Window just got broken and Falcons have walked out after the fact. So no info at the moment for NAVI that everyone is here. But no one open for the taking. No one susceptible to this contact play. How deep will Falcons get before Na'Vi realize that's a perfect timing?
Great catch, Kiyasuke double, surely that's enough. Bit puts up one of his own. Will they check Mikaze? No, he's been overlooked. That's a free kill. And this could still spiral, this could still get away from the Falcons. It's Kiyasuke and NiKo left in this. They've got to combine their powers, but right now they're split up. Alexi with the reroute background spawn side. You got 45 seconds here. Bomb loose out towards A, and you're still playing a guessing game as to where Alexi is.
Hunting for Ghost, they're looking on B. There's nobody home.
And now with Mikaze taking a deep ramp position, Alexi ready to play out from spawn, Na'Vi have assembled a crossfire. Within that one kill from Mikaze, NiKo left in a real rough clutch, and he'll swing him wide to seal the deal on Mirage. Na'Vi bouncing back at an alarming rate. Might have started slow, but they shake that off in time for Mirage, finishing with their top performers looking lights out. Falcons gonna have to dig deep and now attempt to bounce back. Yeah, for Carrigan himself back in phase, only playing this map 4 times this year. So Na'Vi, having put in more time on Anubis at 11 matches played 2026 than FaZe and Falcons combined. Got the reps, and maybe they've got the momentum. But there's a lot of questions around how the Falcons are gonna look on this map. Oof, and that is one hell of a way to start. NiKo and m0NESY. That duo, that pesky duo getting stuck in out towards mid.
30 shots here, and they want to go back for more. Falcons feeling hungry. Set up together. Flash could be potent. NiKo fall blind. m0NESY shoots him in the back, and he finds 4 in this pistol. m0NESY standing tall, shrugs it off as Falcons just walk all over Na'Vi. 4 out of 5 pistols in the bag for Falcons in this series. Carrigan, biggest hype man here. As Falcons trying to get the good vibes back in this series. Dust2, they felt invincible. Reality hit hard on Mirage. And Anubis is always difficult to predict.
Tension broken here with a nice shutdown. No worries. Kiyasuke and Carrigan stopping that B plate. No entries found. A 5 alive round for the Falcons. These guns are coming through for Na'Vi. Curious what kind of tone we see set in these rifle rounds for the Falcons. You see some CT squads look to be really aggressive from the get-go, try and set a precedent early of taking away this water control. Some preferring to just play it by the book, by the numbers, lean a bit more into stacks and mid-round aggression, but we are going to get something early here. Flash is primed and ready over towards B main.
Couple going high here for m0NESY. It's going to send Ema back. Falcons take the space. Don't overcommit. Just a lot of resources used in this position. Blocking Na'Vi on an early move. But Na'Vi weren't in the business of getting anything done. They were really just waiting out this opening move from the Falcons. And so they're fine to recommit back to B main. Walk it slow. Two smokes remain for Falcons. m0NESY hovers, hesitating between the 2 bomb sites, uncertain where Na'Vi are going to go. Quick to react to either, committed to neither. NAVI keep you guessing.
Mid's a great place to end up. Falcons made the decision to leave that part of the map empty. So nice for NAVI just to have this in their back pocket. Looking like we could have a fight down here as Kiyasuke teetering around that peak, but instead it's just a boost up into the window. Space given. It's the A play that gets spotted. Bit with the catch. Sees NiKo in this position as well. Kiyasuke trying to help him from the other side. This A play is coming in. They will finally flush out Bit. Still, Falcons very far removed from this round.
Ooh dear, Molly's a problem, but NAVI get off the bomb plant before NiKo's hits theirs. He's holding for the repush. Makazi flashing wonderful in, looks perfect. NiKo dodges it though, going far too deep as NiKo collects a kill. They come in from heaven at the same time. Falcons speeding up.
Yeah, starting to feel claustrophobic here for NAVI. IEM throwing into a clutch, needs this kill and he can't wrangle it in. That's Falcons out of position, but denying any type of a foothold for NAVI to play around. That NiKo kill is massive.
Yeah, give and take in this round. Even though it felt like Falcons kind of butchered it by stepping on that flank, Bit realized what was up. He's able to take one with him before he's flushed out by Connector. Still, Falcons know what the reaction is. NAVI jump that A site. They find an empty site. They get a bomb plant, but it's so uncomfortable in the post. They don't have heaven control. They don't have main control. NAVI have nowhere to hide. So frustrating round to lose, because even though NAVI make the right reaction, they get nothing from it. Trying to utilize a lot of nade stacks across these last two maps. None of them have connected. It's m0NESY's AWP starting A for a change. The thing about CT Anubis is you got to be dynamic. You got to keep changing it up. Can't be predictable. So Falcons try something else, and it works wonderfully.
Yeah, ain't no predicting that. Little timing push for Tesses with m0NESY covering on that AWP. And this hero gun round off to a rough start for NAVI. That AK lost in the water. Wonderful gonna go fishing, grabs it. Won't be able to fare against that m0NESY AWP.
Falcons with very confident reads on the CT side. We've seen 2 rounds now. They just literally walk out of A main, not even peeking or strafing, just shifting into the fights. Seem to know what NAVI are up to. Pre-Molly down on B as they look to reclear this position. It's been absent, vacant for a while, but Falcons are here, and they're here in a big pack. 3 players ready awaiting. That's a nice entry from IEM, but are you ready for everybody in this bomb site? NiKo keeps the pressure on, and there is no getting out of here, NAVI. Tesses ended your round before it began, and Falcons go 4-0 up on a very difficult half.
I think if you're the Falcons too, you know that this is one area of your map pool that just hasn't been tested, and so if there ever was a time for it to try and get figured out, it was going to be at the Major. Able to dodge playing it across Astana, CAC, and you know it was only a matter of time, so they had to have put some work in.
Yeah, no one likes this map. Very few at least. Least played of this stage. By a margin of 2. Or multiple rather, but it's bound to come through in some of these playoff series where teams are looking for any edge they can get. Punishing Vitality on it, we've seen frequent. NAVI know very well.
I think that the thing that's just always scary is, you know, dealing with the unknown quantities. Because the thing you said about, you know, this being a good map for that old Falcon squad, you know, it's not like these players are suddenly going to feel massively less confident on the map. Sure, that the captains change, some of the ideas you're going to have will be different and where you pull them in. But that net comfortability is there. This is NAVI wanting to have not sprung a trap. Sure, other squads already in those playoffs will thank them for being the team to volunteer this info about Falcons on Anubis. It's been off to a good start. So how are NAVI going to try and break through? You got the m0NESY AWP. Again, just keeping it dynamic as to where this pops up. Last seen it out towards A main. This time on a line through those mid doors. And a dry face from Alexi baits them in to this double setup. Now Monacy does get a little bloodlusty there. Tries to play it forward, goes looking for more, and gives away a kill to the wonderful AWP.
We're seeing we know NAVI are very reliant on their read of the game, which isn't necessarily a bad thing with Blade and the prep and the staff behind NAVI, but you know, you wonder if that will be difficult on a map like this where Falcons just keep changing their setups every single CT side. NiKo now back in this A site, because that was Alexi not calling for the flash. Wonderful had it out. Alexi said no. He dry walked it into the orb, into a double setup. Falcons find an immediate double kill on middle, but somehow NAVI are back in this round.
Yeah, Tesses didn't manage the trade, and so now things can get awkward. Will catch Bit second time around. Tag down range from the orb, and only a dink for Tesses. So this one handed off to Kiyosuke and Carrigan in a retake. What was feeling like a comfortable round now called in a question.
Oh, he hit the timing.
No, he hasn't. Wonderful. Missed opportunity. Could have saved Dima's life. Will make up for it with a late trade, and now is to see this clutch through. Kiyosuke's already slipped the net. Scales up into heaven. Blade looking on. Nervous now, but footsteps heard, and Wonderful's got that to play with. Kiyosuke's chasing Ghost all the way in a spawn. Doesn't realize where Wonderful's gotten to until that Molotov comes out, and that's enough to win it.
What a confusing round for Wonderful. He absolutely misses the craziest timings. He misses Carrigan slipping out heaven, killing his teammate, and then he misses Kiyosuke walking through the entire site and getting up into heaven. He pieces it together. Kiyosuke goes running for nothing, and he can't find him. So Wonderful's Molotov wins the round, and that is NAVI from a 3v5. They lost 2 kills in middle at the dawn of the round. NiKo and Monacy shut that down, and still NAVI clutch it out. And it's not the round I would have banked on NAVI winning, but it comes early enough in this half. Falcons just rushing mid, but Wonderful's got the B pick. That could open it up.
He's hit some blinders. Even that tag through heaven in the last round was crazy. Now an opening onto Carrigan. Mid-aggression, Alexi looking to quell it. They don't know about NiKo. So he's going to try and play out on this island for as long as he can. Monacy thought about flashing to help him out. NiKo says no.
Could he hold it?
Doesn't want this telegraphed. Knows he needs a multi-kill here. That's the bomb away from NAVI, and NiKo just goes on patrol, looking further afield. Gonna keep trying to strike from new positions, new angles, get as much value as he can from being in NAVI's backline. But this wonderful orb, it's been lights out on that angle, gonna deal with NiKo.
Huge smoke. So much uncertainty in this round for the Falcons, not knowing where to hedge their bets. And as they walk into this A site, Bit has already set up shop. You might clear positions, but do you check back site? Bit waits. And Falcons is quiet. May they walk away? They start to hear the steps, but Bit is here to punish.
Oh, there's the spot. He just saw the Monacy orb. Still, the info is there. Bit now dead out in the open. They're going to try and retreat, but there isn't time for this. Makazi's got to battle forward, and he's effectively in a 1v2. Wonderful's not a part of this. Makazi's got to do it alone. Off that bomb, there's the catch. Kiyosuke can stop this. Charging in. Makazi with the save.
How on earth did NAVI win that round? It goes so wrong from such a strong position. Bit blunder. And Makazi with that swing out. I thought he had no chance to get those kills. Falcons give him that opportunity. They go for the fights. NAVI win them out. Makazi staying very cool in a very stressful round. That is 2 bangers back-to-back for NAVI, a 3v5, and then this.
It's just one of the most uncomfortable spots you can be in. You've committed to the A play with Bit having all that space, and then every single bad timing, every single rough peak happens to NAVI, and Makazi still able to pull it off in spite of that. Maybe the most stressful 4v2 you've been in, and he absolutely nails his side of the bargain.
This is such a tense game already. We are just 6 rounds deep. Now Falcons money on the line. Monacy Orb, Kyosuke rifle, and a bit of aggression from NiKo, stifled by that nade. He's still going to send it, and the second timing recovers that very well. This is NiKo on 20 health after the HE in middle, and he's forced to 5v4. Tesses goes patrolling too, but pushing up here. Will he just leave with a AK? It's a perfect chance to. Once more, he'll get it. 5v3, what could go wrong?
In both of these last 2 rounds, Falcons have held the advantage. NAVI have been the guys to snatch it back. This is the tail end of your money, and so if you let this one get away from you, NAVI are tying this game up at an alarming rate. Tess has made a great play pushing forward to grab this rifle, but his job in this round is far from over. Ema and Alexi waiting around this corner. Got NiKo here alongside him, low on HP. That swing, Tess had to hit this.
Oh, that pressure for Carrigan draws him back, but NiKo still gets caught. Idea was there. 4v2. And 30 seconds to decide if you really want to risk your AWP and your AK on this round. A lost round would put NAVI back on pistols.
Yeah, both teams running the risk of getting broken at the end of this one. That molly is big. Tesses has to swing ahead of it. Fight forced. Tesses gets one. Hands off to Ema in this clutch. 1v2. Bomb plant will be found here. He's got that to play with. Fast flank heard main. He goes looking for the Monacy Orb, but already on the angle. Monacy waits for that kill to come to him. That's another round you expected Falcons to pick up. That's a light buy, but they pull through.
I can't believe NiKo gets away with this backstab, right? The fact that no one is there to help out Bit. He gets full blinded. NAVI just sell him down the river. And Tesses goes on with an incredible multi-kill in A main. Falcons have been extremely aggressive in this CT side on second timings, catching NAVI off guard while they set up, dropping the bomb, throwing some very chaotic rounds NAVI's way. And they know it's coming. They still have been yet to stop it.
And honestly, you know, it felt like a big risk sending NiKo through that mid window without extinguishing the molly, without considering the timing of the nade. But I almost wonder if that's why they're just overlooking it entirely. So often you drop that smoke, right, and run through. Otherwise, you're taking 80 damage, and that's exactly what happened to NiKo on that push.
It's so crazy, it might just work.
All right, now a test at this B bomb site, but 3 players here for the Falcons. They've got numbers in the right place. Mid again left open, being a bit of a fixture of some of these rounds. Instant kill onto the 2 defenders. It's NiKo playing Joker, the 3rd man that they weren't expecting. Mowed out for NiKo. Eventually overwhelmed. And in spite of it being a multi-kill, you almost wish he got even more. Because this is not an easy round now for Tesses and Monacy coming into a lost B bomb site. Smoke's in their way. And as they fade, you are desperate for someone to provide an opening. Alexi swings out ahead of this retake. Knocks Monacy off his perch, and now with info on Tesses, no way back into this for the Falcons. That's a low econ round right back out of NAVI.
And every time Falcons get NAVI in a breakable position, they somehow persevere and break back. That was a force in for NAVI. That was quite a risky investment, and an explosive B hit gets them back on the board. Look at what it's done to Falcons. We have 1 M4 and 4 pistols in this next round. NAVI put everything on the line, and it works out just perfectly. Bit of a pace change here for NAVI. It's what got them over the line of Mirage come the end. Just flat out rushes. Carrigan in trouble, alone on this B bomb site.
Oh, he heard those B players starting to pull back. And the mid defense, the mid stack isn't budging. Falcons don't fall for the NAVI trick here. They've got very fast rotations available. Might even be able to help Tesses before NAVI get into A. NAVI still feel like they're making up their mind in this one.
Falcons are flying blind. They really don't know where to hedge their bets. That pick comes out in middle. To an aggressing NiKo as Falcons try to find that flank timing. Now it's NAVI surrounding this B bomb site. Still Carrigan sits alone, but not for long. This is NAVI rolling out the red carpet. They were regrouping to go back for that A hit, so calling it off. Perfect remedy here in this round. Falcons saving what little they have. And NAVI eyeing up a very nice T-side after all. A slow start to this third map. But now recovered.
Seeing how much harder it is as well to go for this mid-round aggression now that the wonderful AWP has made an appearance. Next up is just these saved guns for the Falcons, eco around it, and so maybe a gamble needed in this upcoming round. This is the lead about to get away from them, pending a big moment from the hero weapon that will be in the hands of Kyosuke. Falcons still all smiles, not feeling like they've lost control over this game yet. And if last time it was a gamble in the wrong place, this time Kyosuke might try and force fights out of this rifle.
A main aggression has just been so profitable for Falcons, but look at how NAVI know that. Look at how they're set up. They've got 3 players, eyes on this position. Nade ready for the AWP contact. Wonderful on the line. It couldn't be a better setup from NAVI to stop this aggression. So Falcons wait patiently, 3 players. But so much doubt, so much uncertainty, and so much utility flooded in for NAVI in middle is going to draw Falcons back out of position. The give and take of Anubis, leaving Falcons constantly uncertain.
I mean, the stack's in the right place. Sure, they're clearing out mid right now, but they'll uncover it's clear. How mobile do they get with the pistols? Because Kyosuke ain't moving. He's got Monacy here alongside him, and an A play looming for NAVI. Wonderful. Hoping to lead the way on this AWP. Looking for that opener. He will strike. Presence of 2 up close, but they only get out with the 1, and there's the shutdown. Full collapse of the Falcons. NAVI tying up this game.
Oh, what a game out of Wonderful at this point. He has showed up every single time NAVI have needed him since getting this AWP and constantly dragged back from disadvantaged rounds. Even won that early clutch out against Kyosuke that started off this streak for NAVI. And sure, you can look at Falcons, you can say 5-round CT Anubis, their half is done, it's good. They don't need to worry. The job is completed already.
That's feel great seeing Wonderful as well put in kind of more positions to succeed, right? More integral fights, being the guy to go and roam and look for these opening kills, putting a bit more responsibility on his shoulders, and feels like it's working out for NAVI.
Yeah, definitely not just here to set up stars. But rather be the guy in the limelight, and NAVI need him. Performing now, but this round might come at the cost of 2 if you lose it, Falcons. Wonderful again, and risky fight for Kyosuke through the smoke, but no punish. Wonderful's getting whittled down. Shot by shot through these smokes. NAVI have been extremely quiet on these T sides, and they'll do it again. Just one flash to middle.
Oh, NiKo burning, they'll hear that. They close in on him quickly. Gonna be hard pressed to get out with anything. It's m0NESY's help, hoping to bail him out in middle. Kept it even. Kiyosuke getting curious, might just walk right in a bit. This is the fight he's hoping for, ready for that. There's the punish. Double push in through dark, and that's given open runway into the B site. NiKo gonna try and plug this hole. Moves over. First man on the scene, only man on the scene. TeSeS out of this round, out of the picture. It's NiKo or it's nothing, and that nade gets rid of him. TeSeS really down to give this one a go. Plays it through that smoke, and Mikaze looking on, waiting for that exact move.
Yeah, you can see the desperation now showing for Falcons. They can't save forever. They've eventually got to compete for some of these rounds, and NAVI just do not let them in. Lock and key, perfect position from Bit to punish the re-aggro. It's the first time Falcons have tried that kind of push out through water this early in the round, and Bit is so ready for it. Even had IEM there to trade out if things went bad, and they didn't.
Been a long time since we last saw any type of B aggression. I know they walk desperately through the connector there, but they start with triple B this time, leaving that option open. NAVI may be feeling the same, send IEM to harass this side of the map.
And I love this harass because you know how bad the money is for Falcons. There's not going to be an AWP on this B side. There's likely no M4s either, so you can just take straight up gunfights. Falcons smoke it off, but IEM is just really looking for an engagement against an overconfident MP9. No one from Falcons is willing to make that mistake. And so NAVI, opening move, nothing from it, but they've got plenty of time and plenty of resources. TeSeS now with no support on this A site, leaning very far back, ready to drop this Molotov, but on that jiggle, it's got to go out. Smoke first. Gets a second chance. Alexi knows it's not a fight worth taking. Just his presence in mid is enough to put fear in Falcons, and they just feel like they have to go into the water. It's a crazy kill for Carrigan to trade out.
NAVI are very split up right now.
They could come back con. I think it might be their best move right now. It feels like Bit's just faking. B is very weak. Bit can't die for nothing.
Knows it's SMGs around the corner, just trying to waste as much time as he can. Now you're left looking at m0NESY, who's called for a rotation. Carrigan moves back in to join him. Needs something here from the hold. One and done for m0NESY. Another one of these even odds retakes. Falcons have struggled with them. It's NiKo, it's TeSeS. Fast push out towards the connector.
Great post-plant position, and Alexi has a nade. TeSeS smoke on bomb, no kit either. Falcons need to get a move on, and they need to force these fights out of NAVI. They can't wait forever. IEM is so far away. He cannot really play this bomb from this position. But that's why it might work. TeSeS discounting or no? IEM just gets the shot off, and NiKo trying to chase him down. Cannot find a thing to work with. Alexi over peak. IEM on the wrong side of the site, but it doesn't matter if he hits the shot. NAVI recover that post part and recover the half. 5 rounds straight at the end of their T side. Is it just Mirage all over again?
There's the flash, that's going to catch Crims out, they're going to push on through. MBK gets one, but Crims with a spray down, he gets himself the triple, and Fnatic are not done yet.
Can you believe it?
It's a push for the playoffs. Falcons' first time on Anubis with this roster. And while it started strong, NAVI went up for one hell of a resurgence. 7-5 lead secured after a 5-round streak to close out on their T side.
4 out of 5 pistols in the series for the Falcons. They really need this 5th to start off this T-side campaign.
And a bit of a paradox almost, because T-sided map, but T-side problems for the Falcons. Suke, big damage, can't convert, but gets out, and the advantage rests with NAVI. Wonderful, waiting for a reaction on his end of the map, and Tessez might be about to give it to him. Gonna go searching out towards B, right into these dual Berettas. Hear them fire off. Tessez knows he's lucky to still be alive. Not backing away from the challenge though, not shying away from searching for an opener here, and now Tessez gonna get it.
That has literally kept the round alive. All the nades on Karrigan and Monacy. Are they going to throw a fake exec first? We have 2 decoys. Something that we have seen before, but it looks like they just want to walk in and make this happen. Oh, that hurts.
That's both your A players softened up. Both your guys in this bomb site low. Bit hits a blinder on that Tessez flank.
Oh.
Planted, Monacy can't cover, and as they jump in, it gets denied. NAVI swarm as soon as that bomb goes down. And out of all the times for this pistol track record to turn sour for the Falcons, this is maybe the worst. Losing out on that one there, gonna give NAVI a hot start to this second half.
Yeah, no bomb plant to even force a buy, to even justify in the second round. It'd be crazy to see Tech9 Armors when you're this down in the hole. NAVI just throw themselves at Falcons and find that pistol. The missed smoke doesn't even matter. There's more shakiness on display. Falcons T-side's really struggling. And let's look to history, right? Even though it's the first time with Karrigan in this lineup, we've seen good T-sides from Falcons on Anubis, where you're meant to get them. Against Spirit, where they won back in Rio, it was an 8-round half for Falcons. They got 7 against Furia. This is a game where they're going to have to rely upon them. And will that difficulty rear its head here in this all-important matchup for the major playoffs? Next round will set the tone. Simply done here by NAVI. Wonderful, keeping cool. As they put on 9 rounds on this CT side.
Dude, I mean, if you're NAVI, you're so happy with what you've got out of Wonderful across this series. You know, he has been in great form at this major, him and Bit, both of them. But a really, really rough start to the entire thing, and then just able to bounce back so concisely. Now sitting up towards top of the board here on Anubis. Absolutely loving this series-wide recovery from your AWPer. Guns back out for the Falcons, and a heavy lean out towards that B site. NiKo left to his own devices here, playing to contain any type of aggression out towards A.
That beats a smoke. Deep molly and
all this push though has left Alexi alone on this side of the map. So sure, they get all the control they wanted, but they lose the B site. Good reaction to pounce upon this for the Falcons. Gonna net them a bomb plant, a post plant too. Reaction is Mikazi giving chase right away. Karrigan had to hit that, was not ready for Wonderful. NiKo taps from afar. But if Tessez doesn't buy time, NiKo might never get the chance to play. They're so focused on dealing with him. Tessez slips the net, entirely unaccounted for. And so we say Wonderful's been on one hell of a game. But this is a tricky clutch.
Oh no.
Players on either side of him, and Wonderful decides not to play. Backing out of there, conceding in this clutch. Falcons first rifle hits hard.
Yeah, just could not find a kid. That was deathly winnable. NiKo locked off by his own molly. Tess's low health nadeable. There were ways for Wonderful to do it, but he just couldn't get on that bomb. He could not win the round. Better to save your gun. That flash for Karrigan is so important. Alexi, as you said, he's close up alone on this B bomb site, but he has an MP9. He can shred them coming out of B main. Karrigan full blinds him. Falcons find that crucial entry on the empty site. First step in the right direction.
Now there's all this paranoia over the bomb sites. None of these opening moves for NAVI. Falcons showing them they're able to react very, very quickly around this info. It's kind of scared them out of doing it. And so it's a bit more restricted here. 3-man hold on B, 2-man hold in A, and a boost just to try and give you any type of an edge. You always feel desperate to make a play for info here on Anubis, and that's what's happening now. Tess says, lies in wait, will get cleared. Here's one more player. Makazi gives chase, able to hunt that kill down. Now the split comes in, but cut down by the IEM util. Pace taken out of this for the Falcons as they get thwarted on this take of the connector. Karrigan hoping to find an entry out main side. Is he up for the job? Dead straight away, and that's a rough whiff. 20 seconds left now, and anything else just comes from desperation. Gonna need clean entries here to pull this one off. m0NESY leads the charge, can't find a thing, and with rotations on the way over, that's a safe round for NAVI.
A massive step up for Makazi in these last couple, showing up when NAVI need him, and it's those kind of moments where you feel Falcons really rely on just everyone hitting their shots, and Karrigan lets them down in that round. He needed to find that entry in that 3v4 to win this one for Falcons. They were fully blocked off in connector. They had no way in. It had to be the B main player, and Karrigan just can't convert the kill. You are not going to clutch out late round situations whiffing shots like that. And so NAVI holds strong. 10-6. They shrug off that one gun round from Falcons, and we really are feeling those shades of Mirage. Control lost, but Emo and Wonderful both considering this position. Smoke falls very wide, allowing them to cross temple. Emo getting run at here, but it's mostly Glocks. Well contained by Emo. Not letting anything happen here. Oh dear. Oh dear.
It's let him get away.
Look at Wonderful raging on the camera here.
Oh my
God, guys.
This is real rough, Tess says.
Nice.
No way.
Bomb's loose.
And that's the part that makes you feel safe. NiKo dead as soon as he tries to grab it. Ema on for the ace. And Tess says might have offered some Deagle heroics here, but this is the dying lights of his round now. Coming through this smoke into the crossfire. Tess says a dead man.
Getting stressful for NAVI. I don't feel like it needs to be. A nice 4K round out of Emo. We've had all the riflers stand tall in this second half after Wonderful got them there in the first. 11-6. Everybody relax. Everybody take a breather. And Zonic calls a timeout, but I think Blade would have either way. Because NAVI are just 2 rounds away from the major playoffs. And Falcons are falling flat on their face come this second half.
And if you want this to not be a super one-sided affair, they need to win this round because NAVI have been in full control. 1 round for the Falcons in the last 10 rounds of play.
Same thing happened last map. 10-1 in those last 11 rounds. Strong starts, slow finishes. The Falcons' second half lets them down. NAVI are so close. They can feel it. Falcons running low on utility. This is where you need a legacy player to step up, a m0NESY or a NiKo, to deliver you a round. Bomb retrieval, 45 seconds, 1 full kit left of utility on Kyosuke.
And an aggressive stance out here in main. I mean, this round is won or lost based on the success of these main fights. 2 guys nearby for NAVI. Bit full blind, big damage done. Ema can't last long, only gets out with 1. And NAVI start to move on round. They hear a player out towards middle. They know that Carrigan's taken space away. That m0NESY AWP strikes, dealing with Mikaze. You'd like to think on numbers alone, this is now a safe round. NAVI not feeling pressure to play for this one, back on out.
Yeah, they've got room to play with here in this game. They don't need to throw away this opportunity and this money. Keep the full buys coming. You lose it to that main fight. A bit of stress here, as it could have all just been avoided with a couple more kills in that A-hold, but good double flash for Falcons. Makes Bit turn right into the second. And with no multi-kills, come no more rounds for NAVI. Falcons find a 7th, breaking that quiet streak.
Play trying to hop on this early because the last thing you want is for Falcons to kind of find their rhythm on this T side. Knows that easy route to the playoffs is still right here. You want that last one just to be a little bump in the road. A fortunate call where they just so happened to hit you right where they were most vulnerable. You don't want this game to go the distance, not with the lead that NAVI have had.
Rage was really laying down the law in that timeout. He really had a point to get across here to NAVI, and not happy with that main hold. One of the coaches with a very high timeout to round win conversion rate.
Maybe also just feeling like they gave up a little too much space in that last round, right? Like mid was free for the Falcons. They had players coming through there. It became a very restricted sight hold for NAVI, one where you kind of just had to be in the right place and you were relying on multi-kills.
This time Wonderful is in the right place. He can assist on mid. He can also set up Bit in A main. A couple more options open. Better to have your AWP on this side of the map. For now, just scoped up on his line. Falcons trying to blow him to bits, but nobody in the camera. Same idea for the Falcons. Get that mid control first. Util's nice, but nobody home. It's still going to give Falcons the room. Tessus and Carrigan getting very close.
It gives you that security to start walking out towards middle. You've really made this look and feel like the A play, but now you get blocked at the 50-second mark. And that's going to make them change their minds. They leave leave that A side of the map entirely, walking this bomb back towards B. Flashing a lower, it's all decided on this next fight. Tag for Modesty, someone's gonna bail it out, and there's that trade for Kyosuke. Alexi now feeling a lot of pressure as they're homing in on B, and a breakthrough for the Falcons as they now chain together back-to-back rounds.
Yeah, gotta give it to Carrigan there. That's a really well-called round. They really make it look like that A play again. The same pressure, flashes on main, the same util in middle, just to force NAVI back, and then boom, 180 back to connector into that B hit. Falcons explosive execute, catches NAVI by surprise. And a perfect time to pull that round out after the one they just won on that A bomb site. Falcons keep themselves in this game.
Now with an NiKo to follow, this is starting to tighten up in a big way. Almost hope this is where you let Wonderful off the leash a little bit, right? Try and force some fights on his AWP, because he's held on to it a couple of times now. Just found himself out of the action. So maybe this is where he says, I'm gonna stop giving them the chance to avoid me. In rounds like this, you need a hero to emerge, and one of the ways you can do that is just by forcing these opening fights. So what kind of look do we get for NAVI? No aggressive line for Wonderful. A bit just committed to that A-hold. Falcons were nervy about some early aggression. You've got NiKo floating around the rugs, making sure no one can push out A. Two-man hold out towards the B main push. And Wonderful is now going for that peak. Got to flick down on this because Tess's holding for it. Missed shot. He closes in. That's the wrong man. You know that Wonderful's still here, but it's just this one orb. You're surrounding it on all sides. There's nowhere left for Wonderful to hide. So they go right in to that AWP. They give NAVI their wish. Falcons still get through with the round win. I say that. Bomb was out towards the T stairs. NiKo taking a safe path to rotate, but it's Carrigan who's got to cover, and Bit taps him out.
Oh, no.
This bomb is now trapped, cut off from the rest of the pack. Is Bit aware of this? NiKo's been sneaking. Will he be able to put 2 and 2 together on that? Wondering why was someone holding. NiKo gets by with a bit of help from the rest of the Falcons. Util comes down. Bomb dodges this threat.
Such integral assistance from Kyosuke has got NiKo in this site and put the bomb down, and now NAVI have a tough decision to make. They know positionally this is not their round. They've got to buy regardless coming up, but odds against them either way. NAVI walk out of this one. Falcons will find a third on this T side in a row. We are going the distance. It felt like Falcons were ready to roll over in this series. NAVI showing up on Anubis. But Falcons have dug deep. Love the round opener as well, getting Kyosuke into con very quickly. Modesty covering him, letting the young rifler trust in his mechanics to fight the window. Strong early map control for Falcons. What will the next call be? NAVI have used their final timeout. There are no more left in regulation. Both teams burning all 3. Zonic's last chance to talk as well. Blade recapping the game plan, because while this felt like a quick, easy finish for NAVI, no reason to get stressed. Some very clutch rounds down the stretch for Falcons have made this all too close for comfort.
Round now, but you're getting worried you're running out of time to stop this. Again, adopting this triple B lean for NAVI. Tess says Throws in the lurk smoke to try and keep him there. Suke even scaling up down towards dark. And I mean, a lot of these rounds have ended out towards the B site for the Falcons, so trying to keep NAVI paranoid. Util comes in and with a flash that hands Kiyasuke control over dark. Ema flash play in middle is a nice way to set a tone. Set up by Alexi, he's dealt with Carrigan. Falcons now a man down. Kiyasuke dead on the push out through the connector. Tessez trying to bail them out. Wonderful getting pincered, getting cleaned up. It's Tessez double openings that flip the script on this round. Bomb rotating in late, so you got to save a smoke for the cross. Luckily enough, Monacy's bringing his own. NiKo and Tessez, they just can't relinquish even a meter of ground here. Smoke goes down. Bit thought about playing through it, but no util for that, so you just got to group and hit, go together. First man spotted, it's Ema, little labored for NiKo, but boy does he make up for it, and Tessez just continues this tear. That's a 3-on-5 out of the Falcons, swept back the other way so quickly. And that's a nice Rene at the end of this one. 3 massive kills from him on the entry.
I just can't believe he walks the smoke. He does it alone. His teammate's coming out connector. He just charges through that B main smoke. Absolutely fearless play from Tessez with all the pressure on. Gets himself a double entry. Finds a 3K in the round. NiKo hunts down Alexi B. Falcons playing like they have nothing to lose with everything on the line. And Tessez, big game, big play. Across Dust2 and Anubis, he has just been a rock for the Falcons.
I absolutely love that. You know, one of the conversations earlier from the desk was how, you know, when he made that smoke push play back on Dust2, that's the comfortability of a massive lead. But there's no lead here for the Falcons. That was a round that was getting away from them, a round that could have decided whether they lock in playoffs today. And Tessez makes the baller move. Money broken. NAVI might just have to stomach the fact that Falcons are about to tie this up.
This was 11-6. Now looking to relinquish the lead. NAVI playing with just a Hero M4 and an SMG. And resilience that we rarely saw from this Falcons roster pre-Carrigan. Showcased it in Astana. In that insane overtime game against Furia, time after time, bringing it back from the brink of defeat. And here it just felt like a foregone conclusion come the end of Anubis. But more twists, more turns in this tale. Falcons are catching up. Got to be careful, man. This 5-7 is lethal.
We've had some straight up ridiculous multi-kills from this pocket rocket. The bit currently rocks out towards this A bomb site. He's entirely alone as again Falcons hit the right bomb site. He's done big damage. Much needed trade for Carrigan there to stop that from getting too weird.
This round is
only
on.
pistols. NAVI, they know they've got a buy coming up in the next. They just might give this one a look in. Smoke in the way. Gonna slow the roll of this retake, and it looks like they're fanning out to go and save.
Oh man, if that smoke doesn't come down, Falcons, the last bit of util in this round. NAVI are charging through that with a couple of flashes, and Kiyasuke already wounded. It's could have gotten very scary. Ema certainly has to save his gun. But NAVI, do they want to go searching for AKs at the end of it all? Looking for anything they can get. Falcons exiting together in CT. Wonderful the chance to make a bit more money for that orb later on, but Kiyasuke denies. And that is 11 apiece. Falcons still here, whether you want it or not. 5 rounds in a row on this T side.
And in this whole streak, you know, they've walked into the stack, I want to say once. Other than that, they've been dodging these NAVI stacks. They condition them to worry about that B bomb site a hell of a lot with just a relentless slog of B hits. Now breaking away into A plays. At this point, NAVI, they fully kind of lost the read. They've lost the initiative on this game. Falcons in the driver's seat. They've got momentum behind them, a 5-round streak on this comeback. After all this paranoia at B, finally the A play into a solo hold. Look where Falcons set up again. It's going back to basics, back to what was working, back to these B entries, out of Tesses.
Brutal. Just banged out. Falcons keep it simple in 23, and they just smash this B bomb site. NAVI forced to save. IEM just lost out of position in this CT side, has not been able to bring great form into these last few rounds. Wonderful avoided. NAVI nowhere to be seen.
You just want to sink into your chair right now. You don't want to be here. You can't believe you've given this up. This was your chance to lock in the playoffs tonight, and you had everything to play with, everything to play for. Massive lead, turned to ash. And now you've got to get out with these saves. If you fall, you've got nothing going forward. Wonderful. They're closing in from all sides. Refuses to give it up, but finally NiKo pries it from his cold, dead hands. Falcons on to match and series point.
This is a disaster for NAVI, and Blade cannot call them off. He cannot calm down. There are no timeouts left. This is Falcons on a heater. 6 rounds in this T side in a row. A team that has struggled massively with the offensive half. Felt like they were disappearing come the end of this series. Digging deep yet again. Against a legendary organization. With 2 Cologne trophies in their cabinet. But NAVI might have to fight on the final day. Is it ever as easy as this? 6 rounds in a row. Can Falcons finish what they started?
So much has had to go right for the Falcons, right? You were getting some weak performances here, some struggling players looking a little uncomfortable, but they've just come into their own across the board, man. Tesses sitting up top of the charts with some ludicrously impactful rounds at this B-bomb site. NiKo coming alive. m0NESY starting to find his form. Kyosuke with his best series yet at the Major. And this is all the while Carrigan has kept them at arm's reach, staying away from these stacks every step of the way. Opening for Kyosuke, but this is nothing more than a ruse. This is one man trying to put the squeeze on that B site. The rest of the Falcons ready to split, ready to end this on the A play. Wonderful and Bit. It's NAVI's 2 top performers. Brothers in arms on this push. They've got to be the guys to stop this. Wonderful. There's the opening. For the first time in a very long time, NAVI have an advantage, a 4v3.
Oh, this feels desperate. They're trying to make a ruckus so Tesses gets the timing, but he only has 20 seconds to make this move, and it all feels too obvious. Alexi's looking over his shoulder. There are too many angles to consider. IEM is in the right position for once as Tesses comes in on this flank.
IEM gets his. Tesses now knowing about, doesn't have the time to close on this. NAVI, they're watching on as Alexi wastes these final few seconds. Overtime secured.
Oh, this is a game that deserves it without a doubt. 2 stumpy maps leads to an overtime on Anubis. A game NAVI could and should have closed a long time ago, but they get the chance to now in bonus play. Falcons fall just a little bit short of the golden run. Captain gets them there. Much needed multi-kill in that B site keeps NAVI alive. We know what overtime's like, a little bit more aggression, more risks taken. And Makazi goes straight out connector in this first round.
Instant B hit. They try and pick up the pace. This time, bit more of a hold for IEM, and with Makazi close by, he'll help him out.
Insane double for Tesses.
NiKo, it's m0NESY. The big duo of the Falcons left in this one. So m0NESY gonna open, nades rain in, but they don't finish the job. First you see the flash, and now you're waiting for that thunder. NiKo close by. Wonderful, doesn't go. doesn't elect to play. Is he really writing this one off, or is this just a reposition? Surely you're not throwing in the towel. Reroute all the way around spawn side. And a tricky 1v2 laid out in front of NAVI's top performer. m0NESY has eyes on this CT. Walk up, and he doesn't miss. NiKo not even required. m0NESY gets it done on his own.
5 rounds without a kill for m0NESY, but he breaks in this first of overtime. Another disadvantage hit out of the Falcons. Finds success. 3 on 5 when the trades come in. Tessa sets him up. m0NESY knocks him down with a strike in this round. Back to the water. m0NESY covering Kiyosuke again. This 1-2 punch up connector. Triple B for NAVI. It's been abused. Threatening mid-utility. As Karrigan gets in the mist. Last time Ema came through the smoke, he cleared it entirely. This time he waits him out. Karrigan's already low. Just a couple of shots in the head for Ema. As NAVI go investigating, they clear mid entirely, putting bodies back on this A site. No better time for it.
They're coming through that. NiKo, first man in, first to fall. Trade back for Tesses, who has just been electric. That's going to enable a plant. That's going to put the time pressure back on NAVI, but they're here very, very quickly. And they're chomping at the bit to begin this retake. Quad swing, Tesses, bow down. Oh, way! What form are we getting out of Tesses? What is this from this guy? Nearly 30 kills deep as overtime rages on.
Unbelievable impact in this game for Tesses, and that is back-to-back double man advantages for NAVI. 5v3s, the Falcons swiftly trade back in their favor, and this post plant is a thing of beauty. They just line up for Tesses.
Tesses hasn't been shy in talking about the adjustments since Karrigan joined. The kind of weird spot he's in with having to both be the safe pair of hands and a risk taker, but he is nailing that right now. NiKo with this trade, the water aggression stemmed by the Falcons. Now it's lost you 2 big names. m0NESY, Kiyosuke sitting out in this final round of the overtime. Tesses just playing his timing, walks right by Bit. Turn around on that 5-7 and Tesses is gone. And so he won't be here to bail out the Falcons. It's got to be this long-awaited reunion of Karrigan and NiKo. Moon spent wondering what could have happened if this duo elected to stay together all those years ago.
It's time to find out.
Full util here in an empty B bomb site. That is gonna get your mind racing. Where are these B players? Where are NAVI? There's a spot for Bit. That's both kills on a platter. And NiKo is the right man to find out of this pair. Karrigan thrust into a 1v3. And an awkward one at that. Bit closing in main side. Rotate out towards CT for Wonderful. Karrigan doesn't have a lot of time to get very comfortable here. First kill secured, but it's Bit's backstab that at least puts something on the board for NAVI.
A confident approach for Bit. He was not shying away from that clutch. Just walks right through that smoke to play off his teammates. NAVI dangle in this game, but they hang on with 1 round on the CT side. Absolutely enough, given the T-half that NAVI gave us back in regulation a while ago now, but a very successful round when you move past those pistols. Big pickup for NAVI to stay afloat in this all-important series. No one wants to be in that final day of play to make it to the playoffs.
He's been absolutely dying for the chance to jump in and say his piece. He's waited till NAVI move over to the T side.
Falcons back on CT were very aggressive in regulation. We saw a lot of opening moves, second timing pushes, walks out water, pushes out con. NiKo dropping through the window. They were not afraid to get stuck in. By the end of that half, NAVI had them stuck in their bomb sites. They had Falcons tamed. Well, Falcons bring that same aggression that they started in this third map with.
Almost wouldn't hate the idea of seeing them take it to a greater extreme while they have this one extra round to play with. Because, you know, they were actually good at getting the openers on that streak of rounds that they lost. It was a number of these 5v3s getting squeaked through for NAVI. It was as they tried to fall back and play their bomb sites that problems would emerge. This makes you wonder what would happen if they just kept on pushing. Back in after the tech pause. And NAVI on the more comfortable half. Will that one round delivered to them by Bits Triple be enough to seal the deal on the series? Gonna see a very different pace of play out of NAVI. Well, Falcons were bombastic and explosive on their T half. NAVI a lot more considered. It's about the slow grind, wasting the util, misdirecting your opponent. And now with a foothold taken down here towards the connector, eyes set on a potential B split.
Yeah, no ifs, ands, or buts. This one's happening here for NAVI. No matter what gets thrown their way. Bit of a feint towards the middle with that util is going to send NiKo back into Tesses, and so that leaves the other three of Falcons holding on this site. m0NESY moves in, hits his shot with ease. Trying to take a repeat, trying to take another advantage because they've got NAVI blocked off.
You want to leave right now. You've just learned about this m0NESY AWP in the worst way possible. You lose Bit. Your star rifler brushed aside by the AWP.
I don't think you can leave. I think you have to recommit. You've got two players stuck in the mud, committed to this B site. m0NESY's moved away, back of the site. Only two CTs here, make that one. It's only m0NESY or bust.
Second shot lands now. He learns about the Wonderful AWP. For the time being, he's so focused on dealing with the connector. Oh, and there's Wonderful, owning that angle. m0NESY walks right into it. NiKo and Tesses. Do they give this one a look in? Oh. Hop, skip, and a jump for Alexi. Keeps him out of harm's way, and that Wonderful AWP continues to cover.
All right, we're back to regulation. We're Wonderful feeling like an unstoppable force here for NAVI. Massive shots to defend that site, and again, the pressure felt by Falcons. m0NESY taking that re-peek into the AWP. He slides in. What a dangerous decision. Must be feeling like he's getting scaled on by a rifle. Why else would he do that? Wonderful just holds the line. NAVI trade out, 14-14. Timeout for Falcons. High pressure on that B site. And so Zonic timeout. Both of them now used in this overtime. It's our last map of the night. Cologne, are you ready to send a team into the playoffs? Then let's do it. Patience is the name of the game. NAVI walk through the water.
is this double setup in mid? This is an area that Falcons have largely neglected, so it begs the question, what's the idea with NiKo and m0NESY? Maybe the chance at a fast flank, because they're seeing a lot of util getting lobbed TeSeZ's way. He gets completely blocked out by this smoke. You're one man inside of the site, can't do a thing to stop this. NAVI moving in. NiKo sees the shadow, knows Alexi's right there and up for the taking.
Bomb needs to go down, NAVI put it in.
TeSeZ can't win his fight. Now you need NiKo to deliver.
Okay.
Does get past Alexi. That at least offers something for this flank. It's him and m0NESY embarking on it. You'd love Karrigan to just get one here. Makazi low. IEM in position to swing and trade this, so going to be hard-pressed to get out with anything more than just this one. But Karrigan does secure his kill. IEM offers up that trade, and now wonderful strikes on the AWP. There's the reply. IEM's feeling pressure now. Boxed in on both sides, but top of the board. Can't get out of this one. Falcons.
Oh, it's
Seconds
close.
on this defuse.
It's close, I don't
down
know.
to the wire. Real close, and they just about get it.
No kid, no problem. m0NESY with less than a second to spare. Or despair for the Falcons as they would have conceded match and playoff point. It is now in their hands. Right there for the taking. A very difficult retake. An integral check for NiKo. Karrigan getting his one. And m0NESY some sharp shots late in this game to put Falcons in advantage again.
This is their second try to close this out. m0NESY knows he has one right here. Only the tag onto Bits, softening him up. And in a way, you feel like Bits round basically ends on that fight. 2 HP and relegated to the sidelines. He'll swap off, taking the AWP from Wonderful.
Oh, damn, that hurts for Wonderful, man. It makes sense here for NAVI, but Wonderful has just been so reliable on the AWP. He has been going toe-to-toe with m0NESY all map. He's been besting him in head-to-head as well. Now it is Bit on that weapon, but he has had a pretty poor map by his standards with the rifle. NAVI have to shake this whole thing up. They had the lead.
And they've seen two faces from the Falcons. One that play within their bomb sites. The other that play out towards mid. More often, this area has been open. A triple stack here at the best of times. NiKo and TeSeZ in with openings. m0NESY's AWP hasn't moved a muscle. Hanging around, the flashes are good, but m0NESY still offering up resistance. Left down to this, 2v2, mid open. They hear rotates getting scrambled. Karrigan tries to block the A play, but Wonderful doesn't buy it.
Oh, he's got so much faith right now. This guy has not been missing. Wonderful making the move that could take us into another overtime.
Bit goes first. AWP sent in, back turned. Wonderful, had to trade that.
Worth it.
So down to this clutch, 1v1 to decide if play continues or if Falcons lock in playoffs right now. It's their freshest face, their rookie player, Kyosuke, faring off against the battle-hardened Wonderful for the clutch, and overtime, run it back again, Wonderful delivers!
Who would have thought handing this guy the AK was a mistake? It's back to a triple kill for Wonderful with the rifle. It does not hold him back. NAVI demand another. They won't let you into the Lanxess that easy, Falcons. Kyosuke had the chance to get his team there, to get himself there for the first time. But legends don't die easy. NAVI keep hustling.
And hard to not feel like NAVI now feel like they have a big degree of freedom. They're on the better half. They've clawed it into another OT. This is your chance to make Falcons feel the pressure. Heavy stack out towards this A bomb site. NAVI very interested in this control. TeSeZ again left to his own devices here alone. Playing a block, but this can sometimes feel risky. Depends the pace you get out of NAVI as they round this corner. Makazi ain't slowing
no.
down, and there's an opener just handed over. A site now ripe for the taking. Carrigan and NiKo try to scramble these rotates in. Carrigan with one. Spam gets a little bit crazy for Carrigan, but he's delivered on some damage. Rotates arrive. Bomb at the back of the pack, and that kill on a bit might give you a second thought here if you're NAVI. You see Kyosuke arrive, and you're getting nervous. Have you missed the timing? You've missed this window. Alexi, does he have a clutch in him? Bomb across to the fountain, so he's got to commit, and crossing into this Monacior feels like a death sentence. Falcons with the first in this second overtime.
It just feels like whoever gets these opening kills in the round is destined to lose, and both teams have won some massive disadvantage. It was NAVI to win a 3v5 just to get back into this second OT. They get the entry on A, but still Falcons hold strong. Rifles just throwing themselves at that A hit. NAVI gonna have to get a bit fakey here now on this T side, as Falcons do not take that push for granted. Shaky round from Tesses despite a fantastic series, but his team bail him out. And 2 overtimes deep. How much can your prep really save you? Fragging or not, Carrigan is the master of the late overtime games. He's been here many times before. We've seen that extend to Falcons. I mentioned that Furia match against Astana. They know how to long out a match.
I mean, that's why, in spite of these 0.7 ratings, this guy has been in the most finals in CS2 at Majors, which does feel crazy to think about. The absolute roller coaster that FaZe Clan was. This is a guy who knows how to cool under pressure. Carrigan with a watchful eye over middle. Doesn't have to commit to a fight here, would just love the early warning, because his players in A are committed, they are deep, and that smoke cuts off vision. That's a bit of a problem for Carrigan. His whole responsibility here was to tell him if anyone's crossing. And so for now, a gap opens out towards A. Tesser's gonna strike through the back line on his aggression, and that gets Blade head in hands. Losing bit to a backstab like this is a big blow. Now NAVI are stuck in middle with no clear end destination.
Getting a very emotive Blade today. Roller coaster match. Carrigan in an integral position, committed to his death, but he falls off before the fight. NAVI come chasing, 15 seconds, surviving is everything. Can Modesty hit the one fatal shot? There it is, that might be enough. Repeat denied. Kyosuke in the sight, a wonderful hit to banger. How is he still alive?
All right, that's the bomb down. Wonderful carving a path. It's him and Ema, the two top performers here for NAVI. They lose Ema right away. Wonderful, still going. And one shot left in this AWP. Just rattles past.
How does he lose that? The hot hands iced out by NiKo. Cool in this clutch and shuts it down for NAVI. Back-to-back rounds for Falcons. Wonderful was doing the impossible, but he got team flashed out by Ema. He still follows up. It is not enough. And this Falcon is resilient. They gotta keep it up.
Oh, NiKo can't stop it. Modesty now, expiring from that flash, still here and still threatening. Finally dealt with, finally cleaned up, but it came at quite the cost. That could have been a clean sheet of entries for NAVI out towards middle. Instead, even odds, 3-on-3, and your T side is split up. But given a bit of room to try and play, dead right away. And in a game that is skewed massively towards these T sides, the prospect of a flawless CT half, that is a massive red flag.
Kiyasuke had his chance before in that 1v1 to end this series for once and for all. Now he can give Falcons a flawless round on the harder half. They're both coming his way. Kiyasuke crumbles, IEM half health. Alexi on the line, but that smoke takes him off for a second. That second might let Karrigan back into play. Reroute, regroup. Background spawn for Tesses. Karrigan going to drop mid. Smoke is going to block Tesses. It also lets him get closer. Karrigan is moving in, and NAVI play the time. They play the bomb. They've got a molly for it as well. There is no smoke to put that out.
They were never given the chance to do this in that previous clutch attempt for Wonderful. So this time taking full advantage of the chance to reposition. They don't want to win this with Brawn, they want to win it with smarts. Molly ready to come in and stop that defuse. And now there just simply isn't time for Tesses to win this. Decided by the util. NAVI, 16th round locked in. They get something done on this T side.
Oh, just a feeling of relief again to hang on, but it's on the T side. You get one round, not advantageous for NAVI at all. Very different game in overtime, yes, but still questioning whether Falcons can close. They're the ones who have had the opportunities in this series. They've had the playoff points. Wonderful, up to 30 kills first.
Falcons have done a lot of work in these T-halves to try and get NAVI paranoid about these sudden pops. A string of B-site finishes on their way to the comeback. Only varying that up as this one looked to go into overtime. And so they're going to begin this second OT T-half. Running back a tried and tested classic. 3 players here waiting to receive for NAVI.
IEM's actually had a great game, 32 frags deep in a prime position. Up close, ready to deal them the killing blow, but blinded by everything. NiKo, Flash, and Tess's double entry back on his T-sides. He has absolutely saved Falcons time after time in this series, and once again, he delivers them the match point. Double entry, and a round that NAVI cannot consider, not due to money, but due to position. Impossibility here for NAVI. Falcons foaming at the mouth at the prospect of another chance to make it through this game. 11-6 down come this deciding map. And Falcons with a 3rd opportunity.
It's not just 3, is it? They'll have a 4th one after the fact, thanks to those 2 CT rounds. And so sure, NAVI, they've been able to catch up, they've been able to close the distance. Every one of these chances Falcons have had. But this time they've got to do it twice over on the harder half. This is a mammoth task ahead of NAVI.
Guys, listen, it's door there for them.
You heard Monacy there. It's do or die for them. He knows the pressure they're under. He knows what they're feeling.
Off this peak. From the opposing side, Monacy tries to fight Connector, but nobody's here. They flash out A-Bay. Monacy's back turn. He's been brutalized. Rushed by IEM in the water. Advantage no longer. What? Falcons 3 kills away.
Karrigan just pouncing out through mid has just saved them from that push. And what was looking like a home field advantage there for NAVI, not just winning out gunfights, but taking away important parts of the map, gets flipped on its head. And now do they just try rejoin their rock? Tesses has been the guy to beat on these B holds. When you're in the position that he is, you've got to both be the safe pair of hands and the fire starter. That demands perfection, and he has delivered on that in this map. They link up with Tessez for this B hit. NAVI out of position, the wrong read. And that's gonna give way to a bomb plant, a 4v3 for the Falcons. This is their time to close.
NAVI here every nade, they know it's here, they know it's coming. 3 players all together in the spawn. Kiyasuke fighting ahead of this smoke, he wants to finish the job. Starts off with the first, Kiyasuke lines them up, and this is him looking for the Lanxus for the first time in his career. Falcons, first time in the Cologne playoffs, and wonderful, what a game he's had, but even he can't stop this. Carrigan waits, wonderful connects, but Falcons go all the way. Carrigan joins this roster, and they go the distance here in Cologne. Major top 8 locked in.
And give Rene his flowers for this one. What a game from Tessez. Not the name you talk about, but here on this third map, man, this guy put in one hell of a